I don't want to do going up there when his father was a quitter.
All right, we good now. Had retweak the app. Had retweak the Wi-Fi. You know I got that hood Wi-Fi.
True. It's gotta be one. I do got a boy. It's good at taking pictures.
That's the backyard Wi-Fi. Jump off. I didn't turn the light on. Shit.
Postman, we know what you deliver. I'm not getting these. That's okay.
You're not. I'm getting my husband.
What if we lose?
What about you? What about you missing out on the opportunity to show the world that you that nigga? So with that being said, I need you to go ahead and bring me money.
All right. All right, back now we in.
The 5 minutes ago.
Whole lot better. What's good, B?
Hey, shit, what's up with you?
I can't make no noise, man. Same old, same old.
How we supposed to do that?
Got a good doctor gave me a good report yesterday.
So what?
I said I got a good report at the doctor yesterday. I had my cardiology follow up.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
What you
Blood
say?
pressure normal.
Nurse, my man he has an affinity for
Heart pumping like it's supposed to.
That TV too loud?
I can hear it. I can still hear you. Boy. So yeah, I'm just waiting for all the other teachers to join in. I see Coach Ross in the hallway already. Teachers Lounge, got the Teachers Lounge conversation. You know what I mean? A couple teachers gonna join us tonight. I want to talk about some things. We ain't really had a chance to do this. I think the last time we talked, it was just about dealing with the COVID shit. We haven't really had no discussions with nobody since they've been back in school.
Right.
Joey 9, what up, Joey? What's good with you? Shout out to Joey 9 and F Dot. BMG Management. You know what I mean? They artists put on a fire performance this weekend. Miss Pat, Rex, and Rod got busy, so shout out to y'all. Coach, I'm gonna let you in a second, yo. But all in all, man, tonight is the Teachers Lounge conversation, good people. And I wanted to take a chance. Like I said, this next round of conversations was gonna be real impactful. You know what I mean? And as far as the guests that we wanted to talk to and the conversations we wanted to have, you know, we starting it off with this next week on the 30th. We're having the Christian conversation. Dr. Morris Mako, Professor Ricky Johnson gonna join us. Anybody else that's a member of the church that would like to join us, we're gonna. The invitation is open. This is just a conversation. Again, do not expect. We're not gonna do no bashing. None of that. The Christian religion, we're gonna respect the people that's there to speak. You know what I mean? And that's where we're going with it. But yo, I was watching the news this morning. You know they declaring Florida one of the worst places to vacation now because of what Ron DeSantis did. You know what he did, right? He signed all of them bills that Black history can no longer be taught in schools. Gender specifics can't be taught in schools, and abortions are illegal after 6 weeks. You can't get an abortion after 6 weeks. They said that he basically signing those bills made Florida the most hostile place to be right now for people of color. Maybe I should say, because that's definitely what it said. So that was wild. That was wild as shit to me. But again, it's nothing. Kind of like.
Yeah, it's I seen a lot of Black people protesting telling people to stop visiting. Because they're being so racist out there.
Yeah,
But they
that
doing
shit
that
was
shit all
wild.
over the world, all over the country now.
But Ron DeSantis, he really pushing it, and he's calling it the woke mob. He's trying to stop the woke mob. I don't know what the fuck that means. Your boy off the Richter with that, but I mean, like one of the biggest things is the history being taught in school. Well, it's only certain history because Ron DeSantis is Spanish, so I'm sure they're still going to learn about Christopher Columbus and Spanish Inquisition and the conquistadors and all of. You see what I mean? Like, so it's crazy, but I'm just glad my kids ain't in school in Florida. I'll say that much. That's wild. But yeah, that
But that's
that
why,
one.
like,
Was you ready to say? Go ahead.
with those places that keep doing us like that, we gotta find ways to stop supporting them because it still will be 100 motherfuckers going down there.
Facts.
I mean, we always let people pull shit like that with us and then still support them. Cause even like what's the motherfucking name? Walt Disney World.
Yeah, he
People
he got
literally
something to do with
watching.
that too.
Yeah, people literally. I know all that shit. People literally watching these motherfuckers. Mistreat young black people, and then Patrick Mahomes makes a video after they won the Super Bowl. Where you going? You going out there? You gonna go out there so they can treat your kids like shit? And then
That's crazy to me, bro. That is crazy to me.
it is. It's
Like,
like we just doing shit. What's up, Troy and Ashley?
what's going on?
We always going back to places like we just let them do and say anything, and then run out there for their support. And I mean, we put money in their pockets, and they can't stand us. That if you start hurting them, like if we was to start uniting and stop purchasing shit from them on not all white people, those motherfuckers that's out there acting crazy. You know what I'm
Who
saying?
said color? Who said
That's
colored folks?
that's Ashley.
Hey Ashley, I don't know how I feel about you saying color.
Nah, cause I get what she's saying. It's
No, I
that
know, I
shit
know,
that they doing. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know.
But like I said, man, it's like you still got motherfuckers like if when they did Kanye wrong, you still got motherfuckers buying Adidas. You still got motherfuckers buying Nikes. You don't need to buy their shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how you hurt them. They still get
Huh?
that black dollar and do shit against us. Like this dude, all that shit. I seen a lot of. If you watch the videos, them black people was protesting, telling black people don't come there.
That's what. Yeah, I saw it. That's what made me watch the article this morning, or watch more about it this morning when I saw that the protesting, and they was talking about the Walt Disney shit too. Wow. But yeah, I just wanted to because I caught that and I was just like, wow, like he really trying to make that shit hostile down there. She said African
They're not even
Americans or
hiding their shit no more.
Negroes.
They're not even hiding their shit anymore, yo. They showing straight how they feel.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm telling you. But I mean, ultimately, like you said, the best thing to do right now is to kind of stop supporting and spending our money there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the best way for it to work. But we're gonna get, like I said, we got a couple people in the hallway now waiting. But
Go ahead,
this
bring them
again,
in.
yeah, I am. For those of y'all that just joined us, this is the Teachers Lounge conversation today. And we haven't really had a chance to talk to the teachers since going back to school with the COVID, after COVID. You know what I mean? And if y'all been watching, things been wild. A lot of schools, a lot of school systems. So we want to talk to teachers in Maryland and get their view on things. So I'm bring them in the room. We got Coach Ross and we got F. Dot. I don't know her teacher name, but hold on, I'm ready to let you in now so you can tell me. Hold on, here we go. Coach Ross, what up?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, sir?
How you doing, Mikey?
I'm
What's
good,
up, Dot?
you?
What's good?
What's
Okay.
up? What's up? How you doing?
Good.
We
Good. How you
good.
doing,
We
love?
good. So again, this is the Teachers Lounge conversation. I'm still waiting for a couple more people to join us, but
Okay.
until then, we got y'all here, so we can go right into it. But first, before we get into any other conversation, please let everybody know what you do. Coach Ross, we can start with you.
You done faded out.
He blacked out.
Oh, you want
Oh,
to
there
start
you
with
go.
me?
Yeah, we can start with you.
Oh, that's cool. What's up?
What's good?
Not much. So
Just letting
you want me
go ahead. Just let
to
everybody know what you're doing. What you do in the school with the school system.
I'm a student support behavioral specialist at Annapolis High School. Um, my day-to-day job is to try to make sure kids go to class and further better their education and but my role, I mean, I'm like a counselor, a mentor, coach, Ross, that they all know me as. Um, it's like a day-to-day battle, trying to get kids to go to class, being a hall monitor, sitting there watching kids just give up on themselves. I got to do bathroom runs where they constantly in there, vaping and just, I see the bad side of it. And also, when I say like me being a counselor, I, kids come to me before they come to their counselors and share problems that's going on in class and with the teachers and maybe some home issues. It's really like a challenging position, and I kind of see why teachers leave because of the disrespect, uh, the lack of caring. It's a lot nowadays. Like I always reminisce on with these kids, like when we were in school and the expectations and stuff like that. But now that we have like cell phones and social media and stuff like that, um, it's becoming like taking over our kids' minds of thinking and worrying about their future. That's just like opinion I have about being a student advocate and I was coaching there for the last 6 years and my calling asks for me to come there and see what it's like working in the school system. And now I see why like the programs are falling through the cracks and stuff. And sometimes it's always the blame on the teachers, but it's not actually the teachers. It's the students like just giving up and allowing friends, so-called friends, allowing social media and things of that nature just take away the educational part of their life. And it's a scary thing to see, on a day-to-day basis. And I'm really concerned about the next 5 years with these students and stuff.
All right,
Yeah, man.
well, hey, you had a let me introduce Ms. F. Dot. Please let everybody know what you do in the school system and what system you work in.
Hey, everybody. I am F. Dot from the Joy 9 YouTube page. I am a paraeducator in Baltimore City schools. I'm a pre-K paraeducator. So what I do is like I assist the teacher. I am Miss Taylor in the school system. Miss Taylor.
Word. Miss Taylor.
Yeah. Miss Taylor, very, very professional. But what I see in the school system, I see a lot of like parents don't get involved in the school system. They don't.
Big
Um,
facts.
they don't. And I feel like what happens is they want to come up there when something happens negatively, but they don't come up there when something happens positively.
Yeah.
And we need that. We need positive parent involvement. You
Yeah.
know. Also, I see staff beefing with staff in the school system. or yes, staff even with other staff. And I wanted to talk about COVID-19. Like when COVID-19 happened, it shook the school system up. It really did. And I saw firsthand, like I was a Head Start teacher at the time. And I taught kids 3 years old. And that was hard, teaching kids 3 years old virtually, but I got through it and it taught me something. But those kids, like they were COVID babies, and we had to teach them how to be socialized. And it was a lot, so
And
it was a lot for the, it was a lot.
that's what I was gonna start with first. Like with the virtual learning, you had a lot of people who felt like the virtual learning lasted too long, and that kids maybe should have went back to school sooner because of that exact thing what you're saying as far as being able to socialize. Because my daughter, when my daughter left 5th grade, then COVID happened. So her 6th grade year, she didn't even start in middle school. Her whole 6th grade year, she did virtual.
Hmm.
She didn't go back to school until 7th grade.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. That's a
And
big deal.
and that and she said that played a big part in it. I mean, she had her friends from elementary school that she was still cool with, that she kept up with during that time. But her and my son both said it was kind of, it got to a point where it was just boring. And I mean, me and their mom, we bought everything they needed, Chromebooks, desks, everything they would need to have to be good. And even still, halfway through the school year, they both was like, I want to go to school. I want to go to school, to the point my son was like, if I have to take a shot to go to school, I will. That's how bad he wanted to go back to school. But now that they're in school, it seemed like now they say it still kind of feels like they just at home.
Hmm.
My son said I might as well still be at home sometimes, like with some of the classes, because it's still the same thing. They still in class on the Chromebook, doing the same type of deal. So as educators, what did y'all notice the difference in the attitude now of the students since they've come back, outside of like behavioral? I'm talking about like just classroom wise, like being able to pay attention and hold attention in the class.
I feel like for my school, I feel like for the younger kids, yes. For the older kids, they are always in the hallways. I just be like, why? When do they go to class? So you get what I'm saying. So I feel like for the younger kids, it's more easier, but for the older kids, nope.
Nah. Yeah, I agree to what she's saying. The older kids, it's like they use it as an excuse, in my opinion. It's times like the class is like 55 minutes to an hour, 10 minutes. So it's times kids can only be in class for like 10 minutes, literally. Or they gotta go bathroom. They go bathroom, but they out in the hallway for 10, 20 minutes just
Yeah,
to get the latest gossip. And like then you gotta factor in like when we did have COVID and virtual learning, where you actually learning. Like some
right.
people
Right.
put the laptop there and they hear sleep is on mute, but
Or they
you
playing video games.
right. So it's like these kids nowadays are really taking advantage of that COVID stuff, and you gotta kind of like it's tricky because it's like some actually do have health issues, some use it to advantage, but they try to outsmart us adults, and we've been kids before, we know how it goes, and I just think like it's a tough situation with that transition.
That,
I
And
for
wanna.
me,
uh,
go ahead.
I was
I
going
want.
real quick.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to elaborate. Like, I think it would be good for some kids to be at virtual at home because it's like you come school with a purpose not to learn. So why not just have them home doing
That's
virtual
what I was ready to
for
say.
the kids that want to learn? Like, it's tough, man.
For me as a parent, because I had high school kids that went through COVID times. And it was tough. It was tough. Like my son, he was a senior. And then my other son, he was a junior, but it was really, really tough to try to get them motivated to even complete their classes. I had a hard time, and I'm not going to lie. If my son, if COVID didn't happen, he would never graduated. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it was. Like, it was really, really hard to get them motivated.
See, what I'm seeing, what I was seeing, and I could be wrong, but like Miko basically said it. They come into school and not learning anyway.
Yeah.
But when they in school, they disrupting students
That want to learn.
that want to learn. So
Right.
the focused learning should be working for people that apply themselves. One other thing we got to realize in today's society with the way stuff is, every other month we got another pandemic. Every other year we got another pandemic. If a real serious pandemic hit, what's going to be the excuse for our kids not learning? How do you get bored? How you use being bored learning on an electronic device when your face is in an electronic device all day long doing everything else?
Yes, true.
It's not education that isn't relevant to some of these.
That's what I'm saying. It got to be what you want to do. One last thing, Miko. Like, I say this when I was mentoring.
Mm-hmm.
I stood at the beginning of the class. I stood at the door, and I wrote down when the bell rung. I wrote down when the first kid walked in the class and the last kid walked in the class, and I subtracted 5 minutes. Everything they did, I subtracted time. When they got in the room, the last person came in so late, the teacher started fussing at them. Time never stopped. Then 10 people need to go to the bathroom. Time still don't stop. By the time I finished checking the time, they had about 20 minutes to learn the lesson, to get their homework done, checked in. And then the rest was to learn a lesson. And then the parents wonder why they can't figure out their answers at home. Now, this like we was taught that 5 minutes of any crowd can disrupt anything. It's 5 or 6 people out of 25 in that class, and they stop everybody from learning.
Yeah.
All the time ran out of the class. Remember, see, I wrote it. I did it a long time ago when I was working. Yeah. I put that piece of paper on Facebook. I showed it to the parents. I took it to the meeting that we had in the school. And when I finished, the teachers literally came up to me like, I can't believe you did that, but thank you so much, because people don't believe it. I say, I thought it was y'all too. All these years, I thought it was the teachers. I swear, but
they will blame the teachers. But
it's the kids,
like you said, that's all facts, man. You know, and it's like the teachers getting fed up with it. Like, we're underpaid, as I've seen somebody commented on. Like, they just tired of it. Like, this isn't what we signed up for. You know, and those who went to college and stuff. Like, the main thing is, what is a cure for these kids caring about valuing their lives and education? Like, we don't have a care for that. So this is
it's in them. It has to be them.
Yeah, it's got to be on self.
The values of everything has like we did the learning boards, right? The future board.
Yeah.
Everybody had the same thing on there.
Money.
Basketball, football, rap, everything that had easy money, and they wanted to be wealthy.
But don't put the work in to do this, to do that. Like,
they told me I wasn't successful because I'm an electrician.
And that's the best thing could happen for
them.
Would
they want to be rappers? Like,
everybody wanted to play football, basketball, or be rappers or singers. And then
tell me about
it. We had to make them do a plan A, B, C, and D. And nobody got past the C because it was the same thing. Like, what if you don't make it as basketball? Oh, you hating? I'm gonna make it. I said, no. What if you don't?
Not knowing the odds of making a college is
never spoke of college.
Yeah, they don't do their research. They just think I can pick up the ball and shoot it, but it's levels to it where, you know, you have to work out in the off season. Like, they don't value none of that now.
We showed them the board on how many. We showed them actually how many colleges in America, We showed them how many junior colleges in America. We
Mhm.
showed them stats of actual numbers of how many people actually walk across college campuses.
Mm.
We also showed them the number of how many people actually play professional sports. And we
Yeah.
put them together. And they was like, damn, they like, that's crazy. I said, that's like less than one. If you look at it, less than 1%.
Facts.
And now I try to educate them to be wise as what's like you said, plan B, C, D. Like if the ball stop, what's next? Like, you know, or are you getting your education academics right so you can get an academic scholarship? Or do you want to go college and be in debt for life? Like what do you want?
Mm.
Yeah.
So I okay, because y'all both parents, you know what I mean? Because Miko, your son graduated too, you know what I mean, and went to college. So how do you balance it? Like you deal with other people's kids all day,
Hmm.
and then you come home and you still got to deal with your kids and their education. Like, where do you find that balance at? I'm gonna start with you, Ms. Taylor. Where do you find the balance at with that?
So thankfully for me, I started teaching when my kids became a little older. So I'll say, like my son, they are 18. They 18 and 19 now. So I don't really have to deal with the education. So I deal with other people's kids all day, and I come home and give advice. That's how I do it.
Right. What about you,
So I
Coach?
don't have to deal with that. Yeah.
What about you, Coach Ross? Because you got younger kids, right?
Yes, I'm very thankful that my wife is in the educational system, and she groomed my kids really well with the learning. So they know what's right and what's wrong. I really don't have that problem with when I come home because they already on it. You know, so yes, sometimes you have to ask them, you know, but sometimes they need that mental break. But it's been good. I really am blessed. I can say that I don't have to deal with double trouble, school and home.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I could imagine that would kind of cause a fast burnout. You know what I mean? Because you like, man, I'd have been here with these people, kids. Now I still got to come home, and I can't look at my kids like they're the students because I've been here cussing and fussing. Stop running the goddamn hall. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, and so I figure like that kind of thing, that's tough. And
Hmm.
and you still got to deal with lesson plans. Then you still got to deal with the fact that you're gonna wake up and be healthy enough to go in the next day.
That's the truth. I
Let
know
Unpaid
alone,
some.
you know what I
unpaid
mean?
hours. You're
Yeah.
doing work at home that you don't even have time to do in school because they keep piling you with work. Like work.
Mhm.
Like I talk to the teachers to pick their brain, and they talking about, oh, I gotta do this and this implement of time, and it's just not enough. It's not even get like I see why teachers leave. That it's not worth it. Like, but
I know.
you know, go ahead.
I know some teachers who have young kids. I know some teachers, and they say that they get burnt out fast. They do.
I could imagine.
So I've heard that before. But for me, like I said, for me, I started teaching when my kids was like 16 and 17.
Mm.
So
So I ain't even.
they was pretty much
Yeah.
on their way out the door high.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. And
And think
and
about what Mikey said. Like you got a kid coming in on time. Then you got a kid cruising in because they cruising in about 15 minutes late. So they expect the teacher to run it back on what they missed
Mhm.
because they lazy. They don't value the education. Then you got the smart kid in there like, why am I in this class? And then you got kids saying, "Oh, I don't want to be in this class. I don't like this teacher because they don't like their structure." You
Yep.
know, these kids don't want structure. So you got kids in the mix with that. Like, why am I here? And like not knowing their purpose is man. Whew.
That shit working in there for me. when I came home, that shit made me listen more to my son. Because
Mm.
I didn't understand how these parents don't understand their kids or don't know that their kids got E's in the middle of the marking period, in the middle of this. So I was like, yo, I was coming home looking at my son all crazy, like, man, I hope you ain't trying to pull no shit like that behind my back.
Mhm.
So I had to clear my mind from that shit, right? And me and him had conversation, and I had to start listening more. And another thing I did too, I stopped giving him so much advice because I was giving him advice off of everybody else's shit that I see, and that wasn't built for him because that's not who he is as a person. And I'm not saying my son better than nobody else, but I will tell you that my son I disciplined his ass. Mike got a D and ain't played baseball for till his senior year. You know what I mean? He had straight A's and 1 D in science, and I cut that shit off. And but yeah, that shit wild watching them grow up. And the craziest thing is I was writing this poem called Why We Trying So Hard to Not Live.
That's
Because
That's deep.
we dying in front of everybody. We doing everything that's crazy. We're not educating ourselves. Like the Spanish and Latinos are above us in education. We're at the bottom of everything. That's insane.
Right.
Every week we used to have to go to the courthouse and get statistics. We led in everything negative. Suspensions, getting kicked off the bus,
big.
detentions, that shit where you gotta walk down the hallway with somebody to make sure they come
Escorted to the
That's all that shit.
bathroom.
That's
Mhm.
insanity.
And it
Every
be our
time they
own
told
people.
one of the kids to read that was reading at like a 3rd grade level, they would show off so they wouldn't have to read.
Yep.
Disrupt the whole class.
That still go on to this day.
You got all these little teeny short white ladies trying to teach them. You meet them at the beginning of the year, they be all peachy, happy and shit. Yeah, I'm gonna teach these kids. By the middle of the school year, they be like, man, I can't wait till school closes.
Right. Right.
It get to the
Shit,
point
wow,
where
yo.
they don't even write referrals no more because it's like the leadership is not supporting them, and that's extra burden, extra drainage for them. Like,
You know why?
what is it?
Look, you ever see a news joint where these teachers get sent to different schools and a big mass group of teachers get sent to different schools? They were doing this years ago. You don't see it as much no more. They got a report that every that goes to the courthouse every month. This real talk. I saw in my own eyes. If you keep writing referrals, that means you can't handle that school. So you'll buy a house in Annapolis, and next thing you know, they ship your ass down over Calvert County somewhere to go teach. I'm telling you, that shit is real. I seen it. That's why they don't write referrals. I seen them damn near. The kid could do damn near everything, even cuss. Only thing he couldn't do was hit the teacher or hit another student. I used to yank their ass up by the back of their shirt and drag and take them out in the hallway. Like, nah, man. But that's
it do take a lot it takes a lot of documentation for you to get a referral for real.
Yeah, because it makes the school look bad. The school get a report and the teachers get a report. So the administrator, sometimes when the administrator tell y'all come in there and talk to the kid, they rip that fucking referral up. I'm telling you, when I seen them do, when y'all walk out, the teacher walk out, and they have that little conversation, they're not gonna document all that because if the teacher can't handle the class, and then they're gonna start questioning the leadership.
Yeah.
And then they go from there and it goes to the Board of Education.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff gets pushed under the rug too.
But I learned all of this stuff in like 5-6 years I was working with kids.
Mm-hmm.
I was total in disbelief.
While y'all talking, I'm just reading. I'm reading about statistics as far as African American students, elementary and high school.
They
According
can't
to
read past a
Department of
third grade
Education,
education level.
there are 8,000 Black children attending public school and 430,000 in private schools. The graduation rate in America is 80%, but the African American graduation rate is 63.6. And that's compared. The dropout rate, only 8% of African American children dropped out of high school, compared to 7.4% of all children.
Right.
So ultimately, it's not really a high dropout rate.
No,
I think it's more or less a thing of a lot of kids just not going to school and ended up getting caught up in the system.
no,
Not
they
even
send them to them alternative schools, yo.
Right.
Those numbers, yo,
That's
listen.
what I was trying to
Academy.
find out about too.
Now this is what I'm gonna tell you.
Alternative.
Man, check this shit out, bro. I seen all of this shit. They sending kids instead of making them not go to school because the kids at them alternative schools and the kids in the regular schools, all they want to do is find a place to hang out. That's a hangout spot. They send kids to them alternative schools like Phoenix Academy, Mary Moss. It's a whole bunch of them bitches all over the place. These kids, and they not learning nothing in there. They're not even going to class. They don't even.
That's even more of a challenge there. That's even more of a challenge.
Those numbers are. When I went to the courthouse, I got actual stats of because there was somebody else in there that was way more intelligent than me and dealt with this stuff all the time, and they was showing me how shit was padded up. So them numbers are not accurate at all. Them numbers are not accurate at all. And I'm not exaggerating this shit. I saw it with my own. I would not talk because I only talk about our students. I tell you about how they hide all the other students' badness and everything. Savannah Park was one of the most had the highest drug usage rate, but you would never see that shit.
Never hear about that. Right.
They was using all types of drugs and stuff, but all that stuff was hidden. They was having group suicides, where those kids would go out in the woods and commit suicide. Nobody, have you ever heard of that? I never heard of that shit.
Nah.
I heard that shit when I was in that motherfucking meeting, though.
And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, ma'am. I think the dropout rate the number's gonna get bad. It really is. From like me being an eyewitness and trying to tap in with these kids to find out the roots of the problem. It is only gonna get worse. You know, like we just gotta prepare ourselves for that. You know, it's becoming a new normal, and I don't know why. You know, I try to give them all the gifts and advice I took from older people when I was in school, because I was once a bad trouble kid until, you know, somebody said, Ross, man, get it together. And that's what I had to do. But like nowadays, it's like you can't tell them nothing. It's like they already know. They live the day like it's no tomorrow. It's just it's a real eye-opening, challenging position to be a part of.
So, Miss Taylor, and I'm calling y'all about what y'all call during school. That's what
Okay,
But no,
that's cool.
So what do you do to try to keep your students on the ball, like with the lesson plan that you have for the day? Like what's some of the things that you do to kind of keep their attention
Engaged.
span?
Well, I have pre-K. So what we do is we teach them, but we also let them play. Because with the little kids, the younger kids, they learn through play. And they have to play. So that's what we do. To keep them engaged. We have to have like fun stuff for them to do all the time.
That should be, but they should be doing that shit through high school students too, because I mean all the way up, because these students, they don't think like we think.
They get bored.
That's right.
Real quick.
We was talking about asking, like I had asked I was like, the school curriculum, like, all right, I'm an electrician, right? I didn't need to know that, Thomas Edison made a light bulb to be an electrician. So I wouldn't want to go to history. You know what I'm saying? Some people, the way these kids, no, listen, check this shit out. This shit is deep though. The way these kids learning now, they only want to learn what they focus on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want to learn science. I don't want to go to science. What my son had a D in. And I said, Mike, did you? So you actually failed science because you didn't know the work, or you just ain't want to do it? He's like, I don't like science. I said, so that means you just ain't doing shit in there.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, well, basically, I said, well, basically, your ass is off the baseball team. And he was a beast. I fucked his whole career up.
Man, they don't even go gym no more.
No.
When have you ever heard gym not fun? I can't make this stuff up. Like, you're skipping gym class? Like,
Yeah,
really?
that's
Like, really?
crazy.
Gym?
Don't get
The
dressed.
funnest part of school you skipping? Like, wow.
So do you think, Miko, that they should have more breaks during the day, or because one thing we talked about before, Mike, is recess.
Mm.
Do you think recess should go all the way up through high school?
Yeah.
Man, we have Panther Hour where you get a whole hour. Some go eat, some make up their work. Those people do use it to make up their work. Some go to the gym, play basketball, but it's like unauthorized. It is man, it's tough.
So they do basically they do have a moment where they have a chance to just break the monotony of being in class.
Correct. And on
And
Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I supposed to serve Panther Hour detention, and that means like the kids that go be tardy every day. I got kids that been over 150 tardies throughout the whole school year. And it haven't even been 150 days of school. I don't think. I could correct me if I'm wrong, but they supposed to come to my setting for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'm supposed to talk to them about being to class on time. But with all the distractions and the population of having 2,000 kids in school, they still don't take advantage of that time. Is going out, hang with friends, go get high, or go to
Wow.
fast food restaurant because the lunch food sucks. Like is man, it's yeah, and they make hold on, not to cut you off. They
No,
make
go ahead.
during the first through fourth period recess where they text a friend like, let's go out in the hallway and run around, chase each other. Now you got them doing TikToks all the time. Now you got them doing the shadow boxing stuff. Like, I'm like, what? Like, social media is tearing our kids up, and music.
That's true. Mhm.
And like, if y'all could just get a visitor's pass to see what I experience on a day-to-day basis, like I wish I could have a body camera so I could just show you the foolery and you'd be like, OMG. Like, man.
Bad. I used to make their parents, my kids, I used to tell their parents, I said, instead of cussing me out, because I'm not part of the school, I worked for a church. So I was like, instead of cussing me out, come here on your day off and
Hold 'em
stand
accountable.
and look in the window and watch your child behavior. I had a lady do that after she fussed at me in the office because I told her son was terrible. I said, your son terrible. How you gonna be a teacher? I said, I'm not a teacher, babe. I work for a pastor. I'm here to keep it 100 with you. Come here tomorrow and don't tell your son you coming here. Her husband was sitting there like, babe, calm down. He put her out the room and everything. She comes back the next day and me and her just walk to his classes and look at him through the window. I said, watch this. He last one in class. She look at him throwing a tennis ball up against the wall. Boom. Boom. Pulling little girl's hair. Boom. Cussing. He ain't cuss, but he was saying anything to the teacher, laughing and joking. This lady literally bust out crying. right?
Seen that before.
And was ready to go in the room and tear his ass up. I said, no, you can't do that right now, babe. I said, you gotta find a better way to do this. She said, no, I'm going there and get his ass. This is embarrassing. And I was like, I told you. Then I said, look at him though. That's his best friend. She's like, oh, I know his mother. They live right across the street. Oh, I know her. She talked to him, but like I said, they still had straight E's and still had on phone pauses.
Tell me about it.
Man was be best dressed and got on the best outfits in school. They dressed better than me.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna ask this to both of y'all: are the parents the problem?
Sometimes.
Certain situations.
Yeah, certain situation.
You had to put a percentage on it. I'm talking about as far as correcting behavior.
They can be sometimes.
I would say 70-30, because you got to think is some kids raising kids. Then you got young parents. You got young parents being parents. So it's like kids raising kids. Some parents that grew up with their kid and be their friends instead of their parent. You got, the parents that, oh, my hands is washed with them. There's nothing else I can do. Can you help me, Mr. or Mrs.? Like, this is what I get. Like, because I'm from Annapolis. I know a lot of people. I've reached out to parents, and they're at their last straw. Like, Mr. Ross, you're a good guy. My kid talk about you a lot, but what can we do but I'm not their parent, so like, I try to wear the cape every day. And now it's like, they don't even respect the principle, so who am I? But I'm always gonna be a voice. I'm always gonna be a listening ear. I'm always gonna give good advice. That's all I can do.
For me, because I'm a pre-K parent, for me, I feel like sometimes the parents can be the problem because sometimes they don't bring their kids to school. And I have kids in my, that don't know how to write their name, or don't know the work or don't know their letter sounds. And it's like, bring your kid to school.
You ever heard of overparenting?
Yeah.
For real, that shit crazy. I learned all this shit in that program. Dudes say that some of these kids can't do shit at home, so when they get in school, they act their ass. But when you think that, like, when they showing off in school, everybody like, oh, that's parenting. Some of their parents are so strict on them that when they get in school, they act like that because they don't have no other freedom. So it can be
a possibility.
It's a all of this stuff. I went to seminars. All of this stuff came from people with their doctors. I'm like, damn, that's I never paid attention to that shit because in my household, I stayed getting my ass whipped. I got my ass whipped on a regular.
Me too.
Like, you so bad, Mikey. Your mother always whip your ass. I'm like, shit. By the time I get home and get that ass whipped, I done already had all my fun. So I take the ass whip.
Facts. That was me too.
I even got the threat.
Boy, give me the ass whip. I'm going back outside.
That's it.
I even got the Yeah, I even got the threat that if I had to go Phoenix Academy or Mary Moss or all that stuff, that I'm still in school, but I will get my ass whipped every day. So like that kind of made me act right because even though I was getting the education, if I had to go to that alternative school, I was gonna still get my ass whipped. So I'm like, oh no, I ain't want that problem. So
you ever been into that school? Have any of you ever been to any of them alternative schools?
Nope.
Nah.
But like Ben, I used to work for the kids program, the after school program, and a lot of our students that was in the program was at the Phoenix Center. So that was my school pickup. I would pick up from Phoenix Center and Mary Moss, and it was like altogether 9 kids. It was 6. It was 6 at Phoenix and 3 at Mary Moss.
You think you
And
got it bad? You ain't seen nothing.
Nah.
it was. I remember they used to call me, yo, to go to the school. One of the students, he would climb under the table if he got upset. He would climb under the table and just lay there and fuss and yell. And I was the only person that could get him to get from under the table. They
Mhm.
would call me at work and be like, yo, Mr. Calvin, can you come to the school now? And I'd be like, for what? They'd be like, such is down here under the table. I'm like, again? They're like, yeah, he will not get out. He will not get out. And matter of fact, what's the name? When I went over there, um, what's the name was working over there? Lonzo Brown. God
Mhm.
bless his dad. Lonzo was working over there. He was the
Mhm.
head custodian over there, and I used to have to go over there and pick the kids up. But the one little
Charlie was
boy,
working there too.
he used to always get under the table, and I would have to go there and sit there and be like, yo, bring your head. Come on, yo. Get from under this damn table. And I'd be like, yo, and I would pick the table. I'd be like, come on, yo. They'd be like, Mr. Allen, you can't. I'm like, do y'all want it from under the table or not? Because
Mhm.
at this point, y'all sitting there, oh, come on, please. That's what he wants y'all to do. So he can keep telling you no. You lift the table
Mhm.
up, man. Come on, man. Ain't nobody got time for all this show. Let's
Right.
go. Let's
Yeah.
get up and go. And he would get up and leave. And they'd be like, why is it so? Because he know I ain't gonna sit here and do all of this.
Right.
Put your ass on, yo. Come on. And I did the
Fact.
same thing Mikey did. I had to take his mother to the school because his mother didn't believe it. We took his mother to the school and she had to watch him. And she saw
Mhm.
that shit. And I said, now imagine if the school tells you that you have to come and sit with him every day.
Yeah, they need to be held
It's like
accountable because
I believe that discipline would be a lot better if parents knew that they had to go and sit with their kid in school every day.
yes.
If I know I gotta go sit every day and I gotta miss work to go sit at school because your ass can't sit still. Oh yeah, when you come home, you might get lit up. Yeah, it's gonna be an issue when you come in the house. Because
I'll
at this point, go ahead, what was you ready to say?
I'll say this. I'm not going to say that the parents like had to deal with discipline, but they had a taste of work doing the work during COVID. They had a taste of that. You feel me?
You see how
So
many
they
people was on that bitch complaining about being home with their kids? I
that's
can't
what
wait
I'm
till
saying.
these motherfuckers go back to school. How you gonna say that but want a teacher to be able to handle your kid? That's
But
insanity.
they definitely had a taste of what it's like to be a teacher.
Imagine, imagine this, y'all. Like for the kids that have bad grades and stuff, it would be mandatory that you wear like light up shoes and all that type of stuff. Do y'all think that they would value their education then? Like it was like mandatory that you have to get a C or better. Do you
Mm.
think like I tell the kids like you get D's and E's, so are you a poor kid or you a C, an average kid, or you B, a good kid, or you an A, or you an excellent kid? Like where are you labeled at? And they give you the sob story like, yeah, I need to get it together. But imagine if they was held accountable for that. Like,
That's what the problem is.
I honestly
yeah,
think one of the main things that we need to do just go ahead and need to do it, yo, from elementary to high school, uniforms. Like
Mm.
just go
mm,
ahead, yo. Like at the end of the day, you that we've noticed that schools, the way they had to wear uniforms, they do better with certain demographics. They do
mm.
better with certain things as far as opposed to schools where kids can wear whatever or they don't have to wear a uniform. I honestly think that the first step should be one, they got to wear uniforms. And no, they
Mm.
can't wear they don't need to wear no $200-300 sneakers. Get their ass a pair. The regulation shoes is Vans. Get them some white Vans or some white canvas sneakers. That's it. Whatever type of pants, khakis, or whatever color shirt, that's it. That's all they can wear.
I don't
Because
think
when
Mhm.
they
you
should
do
allow
that,
phones in school either. I don't know why they think that's a good idea.
allow
Right.
what?
Yeah,
They
I
take advantage.
agree.
Allow what? Phones?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
cell phones.
Remember the
Yeah.
video I showed you where the teacher took the boy phone? No, she took his
Yeah,
video
and
game.
attacked her like shit. Yeah.
Bruh, he beating this lady ass, right? And then when he get on the ground, he's so angry at her that all these other people are breaking him up. He never turned his direction or his aggression to nobody else. He stayed right at her over a video game. That's
That's
obsession.
crazy.
Think about this. Think about this. When's the last time you left your phone home?
Well, I can't remember.
In the house, what did you do?
It was an accident.
As an adult.
Right.
You will get damn near, you will be late to going where you are. You're gonna turn that car around.
Right.
Go home,
and go
phone.
Get it.
If you
I know when
acting that way
97
over
had
a
turned
phone,
around.
how you think your kids gonna act?
You
We
right.
all do it. There's things that set in play for us that we sit there and say to ourselves, like, oh, he acting like that over a phone. Shit. If you just grab my phone, I'm like, man, what the fuck is you doing? You know what I'm saying?
You right.
You know what I'm saying? So what your kid gonna do? So why would your kid have a phone in school? When I'm at work, I turn my Facebook and stuff off, right? But if I don't turn my Facebook off and that joint come up, I go and check it just to make sure of something. I turn my ringer off. As soon as I hear a vibration or something, I just look at it and make sure it's not an emergency. That's the bare minimum. But you think I'm 50 years old. These kids, that somebody touched their phone, the teacher, another student. I seen students with headphones on.
Yeah.
And the smart board is me facing the screen. And the families was turned that way. With hoodies on, with this much of their face showing in their hoodie, and it's 120 degrees outside, and they walk around. That shit should not be allowed in school. It should be all about education. And that stuff should be privileges, or that's a good way to say, if I give you this, all right, y'all go. Like you said, they got the 1 hour, the Panther hour. On your Panther hour, if you was good that day, you get your phone for that hour.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But just being able to have access to anything you want, that's why there's no discipline for them. They do whatever.
I feel like having access to your phone for an hour is crazy because, mind you, you're not even supposed to be having screen time while you're in school. So, like, no, that should not be a reward.
But I'm just saying, you know, because I don't know what to do. I stopped mentoring. I loved it. I felt complete. I didn't make no money. I had to go back to being an electrician because this is what I do for a living. But I stopped for a while. And the reason why I stopped because I felt like I wasn't helping nobody. I was disappointed in having all of these kids and one of them come out successful. I was disappointed. I was being disappointed at myself. And because that's the type of person I am.
I feel you.
And when I stopped, I'm telling you, it took me about 2 years to actually get my marbles back. I was so sad that I was not working with kids. And it kind of broke my heart, but I couldn't make enough money to afford myself. You know, and like I had a teenage son at home myself. So I miss it, but I wouldn't go back. There's no way. The only way I would go back to running a mentoring program if I had my own money to support it. Because I met a lot of people that say they look out for they want to look out for the kids, but they didn't. They want to get their name out there. They showed up when it was time to do pictures, and I was a foot soldier. Always have been. I'm trying to be on the front line. So I was there with the kids, and it was just bad to see adults trying to use the misfortune of these children to benefit themselves, to make themselves look good in programs that didn't benefit the kids.
That happens all the time. You're right.
All the time. It was sad to see.
Talking about people faking like they're helping out the kids, but
they want to.
Yeah, but they helping themselves.
we had a point where though we had to sit back and, well, what can make this program work for y'all? And when they gave us ideas and they gave us their opinions on stuff, we were like, okay, that's cool. But what are you gonna do for us now? Well, I'm gonna get an A or a B. That ain't for me. That's for you. What are you gonna do for us as the program? I come here and I start helping out. I start tutoring somebody else. I help. That's helping us.
There you
Now
go.
you giving it on to the next person. So now you said, if we do this, y'all can do this. If we get y'all better sandwiches, we get y'all better lunch, we give you a little bit more time in the gym, you're gonna do this. And that actually helped. Our students actually went from straight E's to passing.
That's dope. That's awesome.
But when I wasn't around, when they got out the program, they graduated out the program, that was it. The disciplinary act was over. Where though I had to go hunting for them. Everybody that I got that I was in my mentor group, they still got my cell phone number. I talk to them all the time. Them man was wild as shit now. They older, but let's do this. We always talk about the issues. Let's see if we can think of some things to resolve these issues. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't done this in about 5-6 years. I don't see, and this probably some negative shit to say, I don't see any gold at the end of the rainbow for these kids unless they change their whole mentality. I don't see it. I'm sorry.
That's true.
What do you think? Especially with you, because you teaching babies. What do you see that, I mean, just your opinion. What do you see that could benefit? Or that's some solution?
What the babies right now, the babies really, they are focusing on more so like, this person looked at me, so I don't like the way they looked at me. You feel what I'm saying? So they working through that. You feel me?
Yeah. What the fuck?
Or he hit me and I don't like, so that's what they doing right now. So that's why I love the little ones, because they are so simple, like I don't have to worry about, I feel like their future is bright for me. I feel like the future is bright, and with proper guidance from the right adult, they can go far. That's how I see it.
Once they get past you, that's it. I'm telling
And
you,
that's the truth, though. I ain't gonna lie, it's the truth.
it is. I saw it. I was going to all them schools. I couldn't believe it. What you think, Miko? Bad, yo. Miko got the big kids. So Miko sitting
Right,
there
he got the read like he don't see nothing.
he like me. He like, man, I see this shit.
What's done is done. Like y'all said earlier, like maybe change the curriculum up to do some things that fit their future. But to see them skipping gym class, I know. What more can you do?
I'm sorry, that ain't funny, yo.
Like, I can understand you don't like art class.
Right.
So like they tell me, Mr. Ross, can I hang with you? No, I got mine, you need yours. Like, I don't like art. Okay, draw a picture of me, something like make me look funny or something like I try to use every trick in the book to, my big thing is I'm just a student behavior. I ask them, get your diploma, You get the diploma, you get that paper, what can they tell you? Or if you're getting good grades, what can we say to you? Like it's cool to me that you walk in the hallway if you got A's and B's, because maybe you do need that mental break. But when you got E's and D's, and you just not trying, like you can't have both.
Right.
You can't be in the bathroom while smoke and do your little thing or call your little girl up or vice versa. Like You just can't have both. You're not adult yet, and you need to
Get your
get it together.
education.
You gotta get it together. Like, just think about it. We got these kids failing, then you got Bobby, just using names, Bobby and Tara. They both failing, then they end up making a baby. So that means
Mm-hmm.
the next generation gonna have to deal with
Fact.
Tiana, that parents that this was not valuing their education. Like, it's just a revolving door that, you know, man.
So, so it's a so basically then what you saying, Miko, right now, it's a mindset.
It
It's,
is.
it's a
Yeah,
mindset that I'm gonna just do what I want, and
yeah.
it just is
They
what it is.
they way or no way. It's
That's a fact.
honestly their way or no way. It's like, I'm like, me personally, I'm like, hold up. I'm the adult around here. I'm not letting you guys tell me or run me like y'all do them principals and assistant principals. Like, I'm adult first. So you're gonna respect me. And yes, I'm not their parent, but you're gonna respect me, But it's
I really honestly feel like like they should make parents certain kids. If your kid get, like you said, if your kid late this many times to class, your kid been late 20 times in the past 2 months, you gonna have to come school with him for the next 2 weeks to make sure he get to class on time.
That'll be a
but,
good
but we do
idea.
we do have some parents that neglect their kids. So it's like, I got some kids that live with their grandparents, and like,
Yeah,
the
that's
grandparents old, like they can't control these teenagers.
control.
It's,
You're
Right.
right. You're right.
you got some parents strung out and say forgot their kids. Like, it's so many situations I've tapped in with kids to understand them better, understand why the behavior is there. Like, it's just a lot going on, and then social media is not helping. There's a lot of followers, not enough leaders.
Ain't no leaders.
None.
Mm-mm.
It's
None.
None.
challenge. It's a challenge that you know we need the smartest people in this world to come up with a cure to help save our future, the youth. We got parents that have their kids in line, so there is some hope. Because I can say, out of 22,000 kids at that school, there's about 1,500 bright kids there. It's kids there that I don't even know. But it's kids there that every day, oh, I wake up, I know I got Chase Tony around because I know his pattern. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, they can't really get rid of them because for the statistics, the numbers. Like, can't be sending kids home. Like, we know what they do, but you can't send them home because they want to keep the numbers down. You know what I mean? Like, keep
Mm-hmm.
kids attendance.
Telling
Like, the
you, bro.
attendance is a big thing. But
It's crazy.
These
It's
Or
children
they
crazy.
put them
walk
on. They
their ass,
put them on
boy.
IEPs. Put
Yeah.
them on
yeah,
or they put them on an
Yeah.
IEP. 'Cause
Mm-hmm.
I was
but
watching something
having
about that.
parents
Like
be
they put the
accountable
kids on
for
IEPs.
having parents accountable for, like, their kids' behavior, that will shake them up, and it will leave them with a no choice of, you gotta do right or pick another solution to further your education, because it would be a lot of upset parents. Like, I gotta take off work because you keep acting up. You know,
And that's
I've seen
Mm-mm.
that was
pour their hearts out to their kid. Like, come on now, I'm busting my butt, working 2, 3 jobs, and you around here shaming me, acting a
Mm-hmm.
donkey. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's the person, man.
and
Mm-hmm.
we when I was at the after school program, that was something that each parent had to come at least twice a month. They had to attend the program at least twice a month, especially if their kid had a behavioral problem. But
That's what's up.
and I really think that for me, I really think that parent participation is a big problem
Yeah,
Definitely.
with the issues that
Definitely.
you have with the students, along with like I said, I still feel like it's negatively affected by all of the virtual learning from COVID. But I also
mm,
agree with what you had said earlier, Coach, is about the ones that don't want to be at school, let them be at home and do it virtual. The ones that want to go to school, let them go to school
They have
and
that.
be in the classroom. Like,
We babying these kids too much.
That too.
They got
But they
options
do.
right there.
true shit.
They
True shit.
do have a. They still have a
Forty.
virtual learning program that students can be a part of. They do. It's a separate entity through Baltimore City Schools, but it's like I think it's the waiting list, and you have to apply yourself.
Yeah, because
That's
what
the
if
whole
you don't have
thing.
no other choice?
Yeah, you have
And
to
the
apply
day
yourself now.
with COVID happening, you didn't have any other choice. So
And
we can't
another
keep
thing I
making
think
excuses and letting that shit fly by because next
Right.
year it might be COVID 25 with some more potent shit they got. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Right.
you just don't know. I
Mhm.
I dropped the kid off, right?
Mhm.
And I knocked on his door, and his father answered the door. I said,
Mhm.
"What's up, man? How you doing? My name Mikey Somerville. I
Mhm.
work for the church." He's like, "Nah, we don't even want to deal with that. We ain't dealing with the church stuff." I say, "Sir, you didn't even let me finish saying what I'm saying." I say, "My name Mikey Somerville. I work for the church that your son is in the program, the Yes program." He like, "The Yes program?" I said, "Yeah, your son get off from school late every day." I said, "So you don't know nothing about the Yes program?" He like, "Oh, I know he in a program." I say, "Sir, what if I was a rape, a pedophile, or ex-con or murder? What you mean to tell me I bring your son home every day from school
And you don't know where
and
he
you
come
don't
from.
know nothing about me?"
Yeah.
Bro, I damn near gave the army recruiting dude like he was talking to you would have thought he was talking to my son. I found out my son was going on to the army and dude telling me, I said, first off, I know my son. I say, Mike's birthday in January, so he got an early birthday. So I say, yo, you supposed to talk to me too when you just come and pick my son up. I'm
Mhm.
telling my son, I get off work a little bit late after you get off from school, but he was trying to surprise me because I told him he got, you got to man up to some stuff.
Yeah.
My son was the type I would take him school shopping, right? And he would stand there, and then I could pick out all his clothes, all his shoes. That's what me and him hung together like that. He knew. But when I said, yo, you have to do some things. He told me he was in the army. I'm like, shit, I met the dude finally, made a dude talk for about 2 hours. I knocked on his dude's door. He never even knew who I was. I was like,
Mhm.
you seriously
That's
don't know
crazy.
me? And I got your son every day. Your son don't get home till like 6:30.
That's crazy.
That's
Mhm.
crazy.
Right. That's right. That's crazy. Mm-mm.
That's what I'm saying. Like some of them might treat it like a babysitting club, like
Yeah.
taking it off my hands. So they're gonna automatically put their trust in you, like
I
And
shoot
like
the
one,
parents in shape too, though. That's enough. You know
yeah,
what? Pastor Cheryl had the best idea though. We just couldn't get it to work like that. We was trying to get the parents a parenting program, not
Mm.
yeah,
teaching
that's
you how to
cool.
be a parent, but to bring you in social events outside of work. Because just because you socialize at work don't mean you're a sociable person. You have
Yeah.
to, because that's where your bills are. So you're gonna put on that front for everybody.
Mhm.
She also said that it will work in like the neighborhoods that we have, like 20 Eastport Gardens. And I was thinking about trying it, but I stopped doing it. I had talked to Rita about it, about people in that building every now and then sit out front and eat together.
I think that's a good concept though. I
It
think that's
was, it
great.
is, it is. Because when you eat together, shit get personal.
Mhm. Right.
And you would have some personal conversation sitting down eating with somebody.
True shit.
Mhm.
But I stopped with the program. People was getting on me, and now that I talk about it, it still make me sad on the inside that I stopped because I love working with kids.
Mhm.
I didn't discriminate, but I always tell people I am pro-black, but I'm not anti nothing else. I love my black people, so I would rather have done that, but I just could not. They cut the money back on stuff like that,
Yeah.
and
That's
that's
another
another.
thing too. They
Yep,
do that in the school system. They cut money back.
yep. Before anything else.
Mhm.
I mean, we got all this stuff in the whole in this whole country that we do
Mhm.
not need that much money spent on.
Mhm.
I'm sure they showed us layouts of things that they could cut the budgets to keep education higher. They even don't like, they don't agree with police presence in school.
Yeah.
Schools that have metal detectors and all that shit, they grade dropped. That's why they paint schools certain ways and paint prisons a certain way. We learned about all of that stuff, man. One of the craziest things that I seen was we did a whole nutrition thing. And they was talking so much about how nutrition helped the brain function and how eating a good meal helped you out. Then you go look in the schools,
Yeah.
they serving it.
Right. Right.
School food trash.
Hey, yeah, that shit done
I
really
seen
went
this-
down.
Federal prisons eat better than our students.
Microwave food.
Right. That's,
I seen the
tell you
trucks.
it's not
I seen the
good for
trucks,
the-
y'all. I seen the trucks, and it was a whole bunch of boxes of microwave food. They put them in a pan and stir it up, and they serve them. Boom, boom, boom. Like I see why kids go to Subway and DoorDash and this and that.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Remember that, yo? Remember we used to could look forward to school lunch?
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember
The
steak
Friday
sub day?
pizza.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Pizza day
The
on Friday.
cookies.
The Fiestadas. Remember Fiestadas?
The burrito
Yeah.
with the big ass chunk of cheese.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Yeah, it's not the same no more.
Nah.
When I was at Annapolis High, the year I graduated, that was the year they had all the a la carte shit. So you had the sub line, the pizza line, you could get a salad, you could get like, and then all of a sudden the school lunch just went to shit.
Michelle Obama tried to do something with that, and they shut all that shit down.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
she had a program where she heavy into that. And she had a program where though they was trying to get them to serve better food at schools, and they was talking about how much money it costs, but y'all feeding people in federal prisons eating better than our kids.
Yeah.
My
I
son,
love Michelle Obama.
my son literally said that he eats like the fruit. He said,
Yeah,
I
the
eat
fruit
the fruit
cups.
and I eat a salad. That's about it.
Think about this shit. Like, all right. What time your kid go bed?
Mine go bed at 9 by 9.
All right,
9:30
by 9
the
o'clock.
latest. Sometimes 10 o'clock. depending on-
When do they eat again? What time they got dinner before they went to bed? About 7, 8, right?
Yeah, between 7 and 8 o'clock.
Yes.
All right, now you go to school. What time you eat lunch?
Like 10 in the morning.
Probably
Yeah, 10 to
some
12.
different.
That's about
it
12
varies.
hours of not eating, right? A nutritious meal, but they might give you some breakfast. Now, think about yourself. Like when you first start trying to diet, you might not go on a diet, but you might stop eating before 7 o'clock. Then you go sleep. That's a 12-hour fast because you that's like a 12-hour fast because that's what I do, intermittent fasting. When I wake up in the morning, my head is not clear until I get a snack or something because it's been so long
The
since I
brain
ate.
needs to function.
How the fuck you gonna
Right.
go to school after you didn't eat a healthy meal since 12 hours ago? And you supposed
That
to
makes
sit still in the
sense. That makes
classroom
sense.
and
That's
function.
it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's what it's called.
That's what shit crazy, right? But
Yeah.
like, I'm not an educator. I'm not the brightest person in the world, but damn, I see it. Why the fuck y'all ain't saying it?
Because if a kid don't have what they need, they can't function. They can't function for real.
You
That
ever
you
go
said
to-
that, I see why they need snacks a lot. Like,
That's right, because they're not eating healthy meals.
All these
It's
kids
I
want to
learned
eat
this
all
because
they want to eat is a bunch of
12-hour
fucking Takis
fasting thing.
anyway.
They say if you do it at night, if you
Takis.
fast at night, you stop eating right now, at least 6 to 7 of the hours, you sleep away. So you still fasting. But then you get these kids. I mean,
Y'all know-
so much shit just don't make sense to me. That's why I was like, one of the reasons why I stopped being in science class, I hated science because I love outer space.
But breakfast
can't
is
figure that shit
literally
out.
breaking fast. Like breakfast is
Huh?
literally breaking fast.
Breaking it
Like
fast. Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
But it's all it still got to do with what you putting in your system.
Mm-hmm.
We'll sit around, you give them some damn cup of noodles, you give them something that doesn't have nutrients in it, and they know this. Scientists know this. Educators know this. They learn this in school.
Exactly. We do.
Absolutely.
We do.
So
Absolutely.
why are we still wondering why these kids can't function properly? A lot of them, especially in high school, them kids don't be going to sleep till like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Playing video
Wake back up
games.
at 5.
This right here, all you gotta do is look it up. The light on this phone
Mm-hmm. Yep.
goes through your brain, and it's causing so many people to not sleep at night.
Yep. My doctor actually told me to take my TV out of my room.
That's right. Remember when you were little, your parents used to like back up from that TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What? Well, this just right in front of your face now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
True shit.
So it's all of this stuff, like, you know, and plus, like you said, they're wondering why the music is taking over. The music, the video games, the way they dress, all that's one culture.
That's true. The Facebook user said some kids only get to eat at school. That is true.
Yes.
Yep, that's
yes.
true. We saw it. We worked
Ashley.
with it.
That's Ashley.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, that is true.
Now think about how long that is, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask like do y'all ever wonder like about the private schools versus the public schools? Like why is private schools being more favored than public schools now? Like you was touching about the uniforms. Like in private school they wear uniforms. And I always wonder like why people choose private school over public school.
Money.
If the viewers that's watching, can y'all elaborate with us? Maybe we can chime on that a little bit.
Mm.
You
Look,
said
That's a
what?
good
Say that one
question.
more time.
no, I'm gonna tell you,
Private schools
schools
versus public schools. Like
private schools pay money, right? Everybody can't afford it. They don't have motherfucking 40 and 50 kids in a classroom. They don't have some of these kids are bad, but they're not super extreme bad. So they're not total disruptants, because you got to think about this. It's just like you say, you being accounted for with your parents coming to school. We already got your money. We got your $50,000 tuition. So go ahead and show your ass so we can put you out here and keep that check. You see what I'm saying? There's some accountability there. Now you like, oh, nah, son, I spent money to pay for this, and I send your ass to regular school. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. Trust me, I worked in a private school and being an electrician, and locally, I'm not gonna say the name. These kids bad as shit too. They in private school, but they're not gonna be put out in public like that. But they're not as bad. They don't have as much violence and gang shit in there. Their disturbances are dealt with. Listen, I'm gonna call your mother and your father, and we're gonna handle this, because the parents come now because, like I say, they didn't pay $50,000 for you to go to this school. You think they're gonna let you show your ass for $50,000? That's the same thing like you were saying earlier. You know what I'm saying? There gotta be for the kids in that school, but that in classrooms they are being taught. That's why they go to private schools. Like I say, they do have little bad behavior, but it's not that much. It's not enough to take a 55-minute class and only being able to teach 20 minutes to 15 minutes of the class.
That's crazy.
To be honest with you, their curriculums is not that much different from they teaching them shit.
Yeah,
They teaching them shit that those kids in regular school can learn if they apply themselves. These kids are not only applying themselves just because, but they also get bragging rights from not being in public school.
and then also with that private school shit, before you go in that classroom, they make your mother and father sit down before they write out that check, and they give them that big ass book of guidelines and say
Yeah.
your kid can't do this, this, or this. If they get suspended for this, you don't get no refund on your
No, you
tuition.
ain't getting no
If they
refund.
get in
Oh,
trouble for
okay.
this, you don't
I
get
know
this.
that.
If this happens, they don't
Listen.
get this. So then you're gonna look at your kid and be like, fuck up if you want to after I done dropped this tag.
Right,
Fuck up if you
Right.
want.
right. Because we ain't playing.
Not with no
They gonna- and
$50,000,
this whole
$20,000, $10,000. Shit
And I got
expensive.
drive, and I gotta leave work, and I gotta leave work, and I still gotta write them a check next month. And
Yeah,
you what? Yeah, I'm gonna whoop
that's
your
a
ass
lot.
right up here in front. Yeah, you getting your ass whooped if I gotta come all the way up here. So I get it. And also, like we said though, when you pay for that private school, like you're paying for the upper echelon of everything.
Right.
Teachers,
Yeah.
food, curriculum,
Yeah.
housing, boarding,
Yeah.
socialization, because you ain't socializing with no average motherfucking kids.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong, because there's some that's there on scholarships. You know what I mean? That might not come from that rich background or that wealthy background, but that's very far and few in between. Most of them kids you in there with, their parents is worth bread, and they put them in that school, and a lot of them kids be generational. Their parents went to that school, and their grandparents went to that school,
Right.
and a lot of times they get breaks on tuition for that kind of shit too. Like one of my coworkers was telling me when he went to private school, he didn't have to pay I think he only had to pay a quarter of what his dad had to pay because he was a
Oh yeah.
legacy. You know what I
They
mean?
call that shit grandfather. They grandfather your
His
ass.
grandfather then. His grandfather, he said, no, I think he said his great grandfather went too. His great grandfather, his grandfather, his mom, and him.
Okay.
And you know those another thing that people miss about private schools too. Those private school people are a community. You see how they sporting events be?
Supporting, they're more supportive.
And they got all banners and shit all over the place. All they
Make 'em
parents
feel
at their
relevant.
games. You
Kids
see
need to
more
be
people
feeling
from the
relevant.
hood at games than people parents. But when you go to St. Mary's games, they parents and all them people be in there. They can actually get fined for misconduct.
Right.
They be wearing their kid jerseys and shit and shirts and all that stuff. They become a community, and that's what's wrong with our school system. If I know your son bad, and I even had a friend of mine tell me to mind my own fucking business, like straight to my face. Like I literally grew up with you. I'm here mentoring your son. You talking about the teachers picking on your son. I'm like, nah, bro, listen. Your son sitting here with his face in his hoodie, with his head and his body turned that way, and the smart thought that way. And I try to talk to him, and he won't say shit to me. Or my buddy, one of my close friends told me, mind my fucking business. And I did. I backed off.
Yeah.
His son in prison right now.
And another thing is too with these private schools, their alumni give back.
Oh
yes.
Their
Big time.
alumni give back plenty of money. Like that's why you got Savannah Park. That just looked like a university campus because they boosters and they alumni gave back money. You know what I mean? To do that. And meanwhile, you got somebody like Dr. Umar trying to start a school, and he can't get over $220,000. And like that's something we got to look at too. Like that plays a part in it too. Like they leave them schools and they go back and they say, all right, listen, this school helped me be the person I am. I got my kid there. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him $25,000 a year. We're gonna get them $25,000 a year, so they can you know, they can keep this going and keep that going. Oh, F
Mhm.
Dot said she had to tap out,
Yeah, I saw
so we
that.
definitely appreciate you for joining us. But yeah, yo, like it's wild, yo. Like we looking at a time now, man, where like you gotta fight for education, but it seems like the harder you fight, the harder the parents fight back now.
Yeah, and I gotta share something for the parents that's watching this. Public school education is free. So now, hear me out, y'all. If your child go to public school for free and sitting there failing and stuff, do you know that for them to go night school and summer school, you have to pay now? Like
Yep.
I'm hearing it's like $300 a class. So
Ass.
I always tell the kids like, why are you gonna fail a free education and have your parents having to pay for summer school or night school for the same stuff that you're gonna learn for free? Like, why are you putting that burden on your parents? Oh, I don't care, or it means it'd be like a is what it is situation. But please be hip to that, parents.
I wouldn't even
Yeah,
pay for my son to go to school if he had to.
Hmm.
Not when they're giving you free education.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
you must be out your mind like the thought. Plus, back then when he was in school, I was rebuilding my life, so he would have been short. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, we all like, you know, especially from these neighborhoods. Like, we not fortunate, but I see
Yeah.
our neighborhood kids putting their parents in this situation when they know better, they can do better. You know.
They can, yo.
yeah. Me
What's
too.
crazy though, Miko, is man, with somebody like you, and even with myself, and like Charlie was the police officer that worked at the Phoenix Academy. It seemed like we could have had more back support from parents and shit saying, well, you know, I get it, but let's try this. What can we do? It was like I said, one person told me mind my business. One person told me even try to get me to stop working with the kids, but the other parent spoke up, was like, nah, no. And 20 people saying you good and one big person saying you not. That's that one person issue. But it was like you would think that people would back us and try to figure out ways to stop this. It's bad to see that Youth League Sports, right, have everybody there on Saturdays. Whenever there's basketball games, everybody there. But no one comes to a spelling bee.
Right.
No one comes to watch a band.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? At school. They don't come to those things, but our community unites to watch Youth League football. And we even gamble
Yeah.
off that shit. You got motherfuckers
Yeah.
gambling and everything, but
Yeah.
when it comes to education, how could the kids focus on their education when ain't nobody around them focusing on their education?
Right.
I graduated from a trade school, and them kids told me I was not successful. I say, yo, I achieved my goal, not yours and not what everybody else started. I do have a degree. I got my journeyman's. And I was like, you know, I was like, damn, how could y'all say that? And they couldn't explain to me. Do you know what their explanation for me was? I wasn't rich. I said, but when I was an electrician, I was comfortable. Like, I'm not rich right now, but I'm real comfortable.
Yeah, they don't see the bigger picture. They don't want the grind, the grit, to
Nah.
do what it takes to get to that end of that tunnel you spoke about earlier. You know.
Because social media shows them the end of the road.
As well.
They see the finished product. They don't see
What
the
it takes.
journey that it takes to get there. Like I was talking to, this was a while ago. Well, when he was alive, Trader Kid, God bless his dead. And you know, he was saying, you know, he felt like people was not taking him seriously for what he had to do. And like I told him, I said, yo, the only thing people see is you holding up that check because you won the contest.
Right.
They don't see the nights that you sat up writing rhymes. They don't see what you had to go through losing both of your parents trying to be in this competition. They don't see the nights that you up with your son. You're just trying to focus. They don't see all of that. They don't see the actual journey. All they see is you break the tape at the end of the race. And that's what social media shows our kids. I think social media shows our kids that tape at the end of the race. They don't show them the race. They don't show them that you had to jump over the fire pit. They don't show them that you had to climb over the razor blades and not cut yourself to get to the finish line. And when you didn't have social media, those was things like, we knew when we was growing up, if you wanted to make the team, you had to practice.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go to the mall, you had to do your chores during, like, or you had to do this, or you had to do things to get an allowance. You know what I mean? Nowadays, kids get allowance for being fucking kids.
Wait, fuck that shit.
They get allowance. They get allowance for being a kid now. So it's it creates expectation, which creates entitlement. So by the time that kid 13, 14 years old, you wonder why they don't want to go cut the grass, but they expect to get the new sneakers. But because you've been buying them the new sneakers and not making them do something to earn it, like, they don't respect it. So I think that's the same thing with school. Like we said, they see all these young rapper dudes walking around with all this money in their arms, and they 18, 19, and they saying, I ain't have to graduate high school and I'm a millionaire. And they think that's all they got to do. Oh shit, all I got to do is write a rhyme, take some Molly, and I'll be a millionaire. Put this shit up on YouTube. Put this on YouTube, I'm gonna go viral. And then you got people around you telling you the same thing. And even some of the parents. Even some of the parents aren't saying still go to school and get your, like, yo, I couldn't go to the studio if I didn't go to school. I couldn't go. Like, my pops was like, nigga, I don't fucking care how good you can rap. That shit don't got nothing to do with English. That shit don't got nothing to do with you failing this class.
Yeah,
your ass ain't going to the studio today.
Then they gotta think about like the numbers, like we talked about in the sports, like the percentages, like in this area, who's like, everybody want to be a rapper, but unless you know somebody, you're not gonna really, the odds is really slim to none. Like, you're not gonna make it unless you know people.
You can be a rapper. The thing of it is can you be successful?
Yeah.
Anybody, we think about it. We all know somebody right now, 45, 50 years old, still working on his mixtape. So you can be a rapper, but if you're not successful at it, all you're gonna be is a rapper. Like, if you don't go to school and learn about vocabulary and learn about English and how to use words, and you know what I mean? Like, you don't understand that kind of shit. And if you can barely read a book, why would I expect you to know how to write a rhyme? If you can't, if you can barely, you know what I mean? If you can barely understand English, yeah, you might sound, but when it's time to write it down, you can't write it down or type it out because you don't know how to spell the word. Half the words you saying, you don't know how to spell them. Or if you do spell them, you spell them all fucked up and wrong. You know what I mean? And motherfuckers be mad because the teacher tell you, nah, teacher told you put your fingers under the words, nigga, so you can understand the word that you reading. That's how it's spelled. Motherfuckers in their 40s and 50s still putting their fingers under the word because they thought the teacher was trying shit on them when they was kids. Or the teacher told me I wasn't going to be shit. That teacher ain't say you wasn't going to be shit. She told you turn to page 27. And you ain't want to read the paragraph.
Some kids are like afraid to speak in front of other people. Like,
absolutely. But talk the most shit in the world to their friends.
That's one of the biggest things I've seen too, that they scared. They social skills are terrible.
Yeah.
You ever see
a rapper? You can be a rapper, but you can't stand in front of the classroom and read a report. Yeah, how you gonna stand on stage in front of 10,000 people?
You remember when they like, if you ever pay attention to and these small things that I noticed, we had a all girls dance team that they made up at Meade with some of the bad kid girls and it worked for them, right? You see them on TikTok and all that shit, shaking their ass and going in. But when they did that shit live, they was timid. Well, though they was letting the other girls dig in them. The other girls, you know, they little prep school, you know what I'm saying? They killing that girls. I pulled them girls up and say, what is y'all doing? I say, y'all letting these girls come up here and get down like that. I say, y'all, I see y'all in practice every day, wilding. Now that all these people in front of them, y'all stiff. Y'all on YouTube, on the TikTok joints, bugging. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, y'all really bugging now, though.
One thing my pops.
That's the same thing with the cheering.
Yep, same thing with cheering. They be shaking their ass all over the place. Then they get out there, do cheers, don't want to do them.
My pops told me you can't be no performer if you can't stand in front of your classroom and read a report. If you can't stand in front of people and give a basic presentation, why would I want to come watch you on stage?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I had true
testimony.
Public speaking is important. Learning how to, you know, that once I realized that shit, then people will hit me with the, oh man, Calvin, I love your voice and you should do this. And once I knew that, I was like, oh yeah, this is me right here.
I don't mind doing that in front of the class, yo.
Giving speeches was one of my favorite things to do in class. Stand up in front of the class and read some shit? Absolutely, I will. Hell yeah.
It took me a long time to speak in front of people. Like, it had to be like people I was comfortable with. And then when I became a coach, I had to, you know, get used to speaking around people.
Yeah,
you know?
you figure a way to block that shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the whole thing, like I said this to see a lot when I went to that one, and the dude said, "You want to know the biggest problem with today's youth?" Part of what he said was he told us reach underneath our chair, and it was a mirror. And he said one of the biggest problems with our youth is us. We have never actually let our kids see us struggle. When we was young, I watched my mom be, you know, we didn't even know we was poor till we went to Green Street Elementary, but I seen my mother struggling. Tell me the last time your kids actually seen you struggling, when they missed a birthday present or they missed a fucking Christmas gift. Valentine's Day, they get gifts for every goddamn thing now. Easter, I remember on Easter, everybody in 20 had the same goddamn Jesus sandals from out Murphy's Martyr, some motherfucking where. Everybody had the same shit. So we saw struggle. They say say our kids doesn't see no struggle, so they don't think nothing's wrong. Going outside and see 25, seeing all of your friends going through the same thing, ain't seeing struggle. It seemed like that's regular life.
New normal.
That's right. It seemed normal. But then when they shipped their ass downtown Annapolis to that school, Green Street, and we seen all them motherfucking white people dropping their kids off in these cars and all that shit, we ain't had that down Georgetown East. We found out what struggle was. We found out we were poor because we seen other people living better life. And not that fact that we didn't just see it, we felt it because they said shit to us. They told us we was poor. They made us feel like we was poor and all that shit. And like I said, how many times your kids had a birthday party and you actually walked up to them and said, well, I can't get you nothing this year. We had kids that wouldn't even go to school if they didn't get school clothes.
Yeah.
Your mother bought you shit all summer long. You still got fresh ass shoes on, but still won't go to school. Literally had to go to a kid house, single mom, and she like, Mr. Mikey, go get my son, please. I said, you want me to go get him, or you want me to go up there and talk to him? She say, what's the difference? I say, do you want me to show you the difference? Because I'm going to show you what I would do with Mike. Man, I went up. She said, "Listen, I had enough. Go get him." 2 knocks. Dop, dop. Who is it? It's Mr. Mikey, yo. Well, I ain't got. Boom. Walk straight up in the room. No more conversation. Put your pants on. Put your shirt on. Put your shoes on. We gone. You ready to put on the motherfucking Jordan? Nah, don't put them Jordans on. Put them in your mother room. I said, you take these, put them in your room. Put them shits on. We gone. You know what I'm saying? I cut grass in these. Well, these what you were in school today. And took his ass to school. She said, I got to put my hands on him. I ain't got to put my hands on him. Because he was talking all types of shit. I said, listen, we ain't in the school building now, bro. You can't swing on me. But I guarantee you one thing, that I'm not going to be the only person get hit. I knock you out. Man, you ain't the only person. God ain't just give me a chin. God gave you one too. We're gonna see who shit can handle it. Because you hit me on mine, I'm gonna hit your ass back.
Dude, I used to work with Quentin. You know, Quentin used to tell the kids, he'd be like, it might sound like it's gonna be good. It might feel like it's gonna be good. But I swing back. And what he used to quote Bruce Lee, what Bruce Lee used to say, wall don't hit back. He's telling me, shadow don't hit back. I do. You put your hands on me if you want. But yeah, yo, like that's crazy. Like you have parents that do want to do the best for their kids, but the kids is just at the point like, fuck it, I don't care. It ain't what you gonna do. You're gonna whoop my ass, I'm gonna get my ass whooped, and I'm gonna go right back upstairs and go back to sleep.
And you know what's crazy though? See,
that's the thing,
out of all the kids that I deal with, he called me the most. He called me the most. He called me and tell me some of the most ridiculous things. He like, man, Mr. Mikey, boy, if you had seen me do this, you would call me all types of stupid ass. I said, well, why you do it then? He like, man, I don't know, yo. I be making bad decisions.
Yeah, that's
tripping off. I'm like, dang, well, at least you know.
Yeah, that's the behavior now, though. The kids see that, like, you know, we can't beat them no more and stuff like that. So they act out, and it's like also learned behavior, you know.
Yeah.
But they see what this person do, or because I get some kids like, oh, they let them leave campus, but when we leave campus, it's a problem.
Yep.
It's just like, you know, you know your rights and you know what's wrong, you know. But now, oh, they ain't gonna do nothing anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. Like, hold up. That's like y'all say, like, I'm putting a little fear in them, like, look, I'm the adult around here. You can talk to them any kind of way, but not me, you know. So I build some type of respect where I can, hey, Mr. Ross, can you walk me to class? Like, sure. Like, you know, I built that type of relationships with students where at first they was like, oh, you a rookie here, I don't know you, this and that. But once they saw how cool and respectful I am to them, they mind me now. They like, all right, I'm gonna go class, Mr. Ross. I know. Let me get one more lap, and like, you know, that's a good thing, I guess. But once you get in there, I feel like I did my job. You know,
all progress is good, yo. If you can get them to react to anything that you say or do without it being negative, it's good enough. Like I said earlier, I don't know what to do to save them. I wish I had the answers. The only thing I could come up with is something I learned, and that was we all need mental rehabilitation. Some of the shit that we see in our subconscious mind that we place in our brain every day, all day, becomes our reality. And that's why, but you know, the system is working towards that anyway. That's why they stopped teaching how to write cursive, because they want everything to be virtual. They really, really want your kids to stay the fuck home. In the future, they're gonna want kids to stay home. You can't get bullied online.
True shit.
Right.
When you doing the school thing, because the teacher right there. But it's so much nonsense to this, because once you start doing that, you're creating a bad, what they call it, paradigm. When how the fuck you gonna have any social skills if you home on the computer all the time? How you gonna know how to handle a situation man to man or woman to woman, child to child? How do you gonna know how to do that when I can go on here and look all day long and look up hood fights?
Yeah.
You should.
I can look up bullies getting beat up. I can look up domestic violence. Every TV show that comes on TV, every time you say, go on Facebook and say, what's a good movie to watch? 90% of the answers are going to have action movies with a bunch of fucking killing in it. I don't watch that shit no more. Because I start, as I'm getting older, it disturbs my sleep. Like
That's
I
a
watch
problem
Breaking
too.
Bad.
Like what they putting on TVs is like pushing the narrator.
Yeah,
Negative stuff, you know.
yeah, everything.
Yeah, like
They
everything.
follow
cool.
suit to what's going on in society.
Mm-hmm.
You notice everything on TV gay now
Yes.
and violent.
Mhm.
Gay and violent. Or it's not a good show. We talk about it all the
Even
time.
commercial.
I was
Commercial. You see more pills for AIDS than you ever seen it in when AIDS was out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you gotta think about it. You gotta think deeper than what you see. They promoting homosexuality,
Even
and
on cartoon.
and they try and
Little
get you
Duke,
by
some people
all of
don't.
their pills and shit to prevent you from getting AIDS.
Like it's okay. Like it's okay.
Show that's a crazy narrative, ain't it?
It is. I mean, ultimately, that's media in general. Because I've been noticing a lot more mixed families than black families
Yeah.
on commercials too. Like where the father is black, the mother is white, or the mother is black, the father is white, or just mixed race couples. I'm like, damn, what, black people don't buy Toyotas? Like black families don't buy Toyotas? Like that's wild to me. But yeah, I was watching. I can't think of the name of the show. And I had started watching it, and the shit was getting dope. And I maybe was like, the show's like an hour long, so like 45 minutes into it, Cameron, like, you like it? I said, yo, this joint fire. I'm ready to watch. And in the last 10 minutes, one of the dudes walked up and tongued another dude down. I said, God damn.
Every show.
Every episode though, bro. But that's just what it is, man. But we'll be getting close to the 10 o'clock hour. I want to thank Coach Ross.
Yeah.
Miss Taylor. I want to thank y'all for joining us.
Appreciate y'all.
For the Teachers Lounge conversation. One of the other teachers that was supposed to join, she lost her voice. So that's why she couldn't join the podcast. But again, we're gonna be back again. I definitely want to make sure we're doing a follow-up to that conversation that we're having too. But again, Coach Ross, we appreciate you, bro. As
Thanks
always,
for having me, guys.
Yeah, definitely appreciate you.
To school with the youngins, man. Keep doing your best with the youngins. You know, even if it's only one, you made a difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if only one kid.
I wish I could have kept that mindset, man.
And that's what I working in mental health, that's what I had to learn though. Like even with adults, I had to learn that even if you got 20 people in your group, if one of them can walk away and say that you helped them, you did good for the day. So
and real quick, guys, I try to teach the kids that like you be kind to people like me because I'm getting older. I'm gonna be nice to y'all because 20 years down the road, y'all might be taking care of me. So if I can give you that vibe and that good experience, like I know you're gonna take care of me. Or somebody get rich and wealthy, they wouldn't see me out of struggle because of the bond I've built with you. Like I try to adapt that into their minds, like treat people kind. Like, you know, everybody not gonna treat you how you want to be treated, but you know, try to live a good code of life, you know, and good things will happen to you at the end of the day.
that's what it is, Coach Ross.
Yeah, man.
I want to thank you again.
All right, guys.
Definitely be seeing you around. Salute to you, and we get up with you next time. Thank you for joining us again.
Hey Miko,
I
real quick, if you do any programs with kids and you need some type of support or something, like I say, I ain't wealthy, but I do support. I don't give my money to fake people that be out here taking pictures and shit. I if you need help with stuff like that, just give me a heads up.
will do.
But
Will do.
I like donating to stuff like that. So you know a kid that's poor and they can't play because they don't have their money. I give half, or depending, I might pay the whole thing. Or if they need a pair of shoes and need balls, something like that, hit me up.
Gotcha. Definitely gonna be a good investment because I take that stuff really serious. Like
I don't want nobody who mother and father got more money than me.
I'm hip, man. I'm hip.
You
All right,
feel me?
y'all night. I see y'all
All right,
around,
all right, coach.
All right,
All right,
man. Appreciate you again, bro.
bro.
Peace. Yeah. He said, I don't want nobody. People got more money than me.
Yeah, I paid
Wow.
one kid away. I paid one kid to play football. Then I found that his parents is down 20 selling motherfucking Percocets and shit. I'm like, nah, listen. I told the coach, I said, man, nah, give my money to somebody who poor.
Right.
Because if you going off a motherfucking class, I'm working class.
Word. So next week we got the Christian conversation next week, and
That's gonna be
dope.
dope.
It's a conversation that I've been wanting to have for a while. Like I said, got Dr. Morris Mako for hold on. Let me make sure I got the right name for the where he represents. Cause I don't want to say the wrong thing. Hold on, let me pull up his info. There you go. Dr. Morris Mako Jr.
Yeah.
of Empowerment Kingdom Church International Ministry. We're gonna have him on next week. Also gonna have Professor Ricky Johnson, Chris' husband. He's gonna join us as well.
Gino
And
powerful
I got some
dude,
questions. One of my questions is, why don't black people like to believe in Jesus? I don't know why. I don't know what it is.
because they was planted a seed as well.
Yeah. That's another thing I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Religion being used as manipulation tactic. So definitely want to delve into that as well with them. But like I said, I ain't gonna just stop with the Christian because eventually I want to have the Grand Sheik on here, talk about the more science. I want to have Brother Troy X on here, talk about Islam. Like I want to be able to get into all these religions, and that would just be that sector. But you yawn and I'm ready to start yawning too. We already know what time it is. It's the witching hour.
Man.
It's time for us to go bathe. It's time to go bathe.
Yeah.
As always,
man.
Appreciate you, bro. Love you.
All right. Love you, B.
All right, I'll get up with you this week.
All right. Peace.
All right, peace.